As a book lover who is also chronically ill, I have a top 3 that I haven't seen on booktok yet. So here's my favorite top 3 books that have chronically ill representation. We start off strong with The Undetectables. The Undetectables is a book about 3 science-minded witches and their ghost assistant who decide to solve a paranormal, high-profile murder. It's super funny, there are twists and turns, the characters are delightful, but also it's really good representation of life with chronic illness. The main character in this book is a witch that has fibromyalgia, and as these things do, it influences her whole entire life, even her ability to use her magic. At first, I had a bit of a difficult time reading this because so much of her experience was so painfully familiar to me. The isolation of being housebound, the social isolation, the difficulties of just getting through every single day. But this book is not just sadness, it is really witty and it's really interesting too. And throughout the book, although she has fibromyalgia and that isn't quickly swept aside, we realize Mallory is far more than just her illness. The second book is All That Consumes Us by Erica Waters. This book is a dark gothic academia novel that focuses on the question, what are we willing to do for greatness? Our main character is Tara, who comes from humble beginnings and is offered a scholarship to try and make her dream of becoming a great writer true. But she quickly finds out that she bit off a little bit more than she can chew. The representation in this book comes in the form of Penny, her friend, and also her main love interest. It was so remarkable to see a character with a severe chronic illness because she has an autoimmune disorder, severe chronic pain issues. She uses a mobility aid and it really impacts her very deeply. But she is also far more than her illness. She is kind, she is gentle, soft-spoken, and she's a really ambitious biologist. We don't often see people with chronic illnesses as a main love interest in a story at all. So this was very touching to me. And the way these two fell in love with each other, I love this book. The last book is this tiny little book called The Sound of a Wild Snail Eating. Now if you're like, huh, what the fuck? Well, this is a book about a woman who is completely bedbound. And one day she gets a little flower pot and in it is a little snail. And she starts tracking this snail around her house and through it she receives a little bit of life again. The author wrote this about her own experience being completely bedbound. In it we also learn a lot of really cool facts about snails and I didn't realize snails were this cool. It is written in very tiny chapters, making it very easy to read if you're having a very brain foggy day. I read this when I was doing really bad and was mostly bedbound. It was very touching and supportive to be able to read something of a person that was so much like me. It's very sweet, it's very short, and it's very friendly if you have a chronic illness for your little brain. That's my top 3. What are your top 3 books that have chronic illness representation? Do you know any books that have good chronic illness representation? Let me know. Oh, and if you like books, maybe you will like my book pins that I'm currently funding with a Kickstarter. Link is in my bio. Bye!